Earth, the planet that we live on, home to nearly 10 billion people. But is it home to all of us? Some of us are not from here and we know it. Maybe not consciously, but on a subconscious level we know we don't belong here. So where did we come from? Which galaxy did we originate from? Who are our original people? We have to ask ourselves, are we from the Milky Way galaxy or from somewhere else? We are on a constant journey of searching where we belong and why we exist in the first place. But are the explanations from earthly religions going to answer these questions for us? So many people these days have questions of life and existence, but are left empty with only more questions after following some earthly belief structure for years. We also wonder, why are some people born with incredible talents and seemingly have an advantage over others intellectually, and some fall short? Do we reincarnate and learn through our existence, giving us an advantage in our next lifetimes? Or do we live only one lifetime and go to heaven like religion tells us? Some people believe we're in a simulation and our lives are being controlled by powerful beings. Some people believe that a creator deity presides over us and dictates every aspect of our lives. Or do we have control over our own lives completely, and we decide every aspect of our existence? We live on a planet that's shrouded in mystery with ancient structures that were built, but we have no definitive way of explaining how this was accomplished. Did other people from another planet come to Earth in the distant past and help our ancestors build these megalithic structures? Also, do ghosts exist, or are they figments of our wild imaginations? Have the hundreds of sightings of Bigfoot and other cryptids been fabrications of people that were seeking attention? Or have they been here with us all of this time? We also have to ask the question about our genetics and why we are so barbaric and warlike. Were we genetically manipulated by other human beings to be predisposed to barbaric tendencies? Have other humans and people from the great expanse of the cosmos been coming here for millions of years, and people are only denying this fact? I'm going to delve into these things: reincarnation, spirituality, existence, UFO encounters, the paranormal, science, genetics, and the future on livestream, and discuss with you, the listeners, and try to figure out the truth of all these mysteries. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find out together that we are all not from Earth. An all-out nuclear conflagration. We are stepping into our inevitable doom for the time being. So how do we come out of this negative period? And what lies on the other side of this horrible apocalyptic future that's leering around the corner? Is there a positive future despite the unrelenting efforts by negative dictators that want to rule this world for their own negative purposes? How do we regular people survive this time? We have to ask ourselves what lies in the future for all of us. Are we going to continue being warlike and barbaric? Are we going to continue to hate each other for our differences? Or are we going to find a way to coexist together on this planet and fight for a positive future where there is true progress? Or will this be the end of this civilization forever because of the megamaniacal individuals that just can't figure things out? Can we persevere through all of the horrible things that are going on now and will continue to happen in the near future? Can we access immeasurable creativity and design amazing architectural feats? Will we snap out of this lazy mentality and find a way to clean the planet up after the horrible price that we've paid for allowing the most unreasonable negative individuals to dictate how we should live our lives? Are the greatest accomplishments for Earth humanity in the near future? When will this positive future happen? Can we come together as a civilization and work together in a positive manner and terraform Mars, giving us another place to live until we venture out into another forever system? We are all living on a system where the sun is dying, and this system is nearly at an end. We only have a maximum of 1,200 years left before we need to all leave this system that we call home and venture out into the great expanse of the cosmos. But there is only one way to do that: together. We have to put aside any enmities and preconceived notions about each other and life itself, and look at things from a neutral scientific view to fully grasp the true meaning to life itself. And we have to put aside any submissive belief structures that have divided us for millions of years. Life is simple, and it always has been. But so many people overcomplicate it to the absolute extreme. They attach these ideologies and supernatural principles to something that is so basic and primal and beautiful, muddying up the true meaning to life and existence from pure to grotesque. We are all on a clock in this life, and so many people make the decision to waste the time they have on popular delusions, instead of being neutral and open-minded and coming to their own intelligent conclusions. We have to ask ourselves, what is going to be our legacy in this lifetime? Is it going to be something positive, or are we going to look back from our next lifetime and be ashamed of the mistakes we made? Will we come together and delve deeper and deeper into the secrets of genetics, curing all diseases, viruses, and degenerative disorders? Will we advance our physiology and extend our lives and be healthier physically, psychologically, and emotionally? Will we develop more and more advanced technology and begin to explore space further and further away from home? There is a positive future ahead, but it's going to take more and more people to see the truth of what's going on now and what's happened in the past. It's also going to take people to rise up and find a way to let go of all delusional belief structures and embrace their own might and power and finally take control of their lives fully. So, let's discuss this tonight. The future of this civilization.
Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. It's Saturday night, 11:42 p.m. Eastern Time on June 5th, 5 days before my birthday. I don't celebrate my birthday though. It's on June 10th. It's just another day to me. But um, yeah, so hopefully you guys had a good week. There are several things that were going on this week, really crazy. Um, the war with Iran, it it kicked off again. It was never over to start with it in the first place, but um, yeah. So tonight I'm gonna be talking about the dangers of AI and data centers in our future. This is episode 23. So those of you listening on Apple Podcast, um, whenever you get a chance, you'll have to refer to the Patreon video. I usually post those up, right away, right after, kind of like listen to it, check the sound out. Hopefully, the sound's all right now. Been having like a few computer issues, and I'm not sure what's going on with it, but yeah. So gonna start with the updates in the news. Yeah, the Iranian war is back on the table. Funny how that works, huh? Right around Friday when the markets close, round and round we go. Market manipulation, unbelievable. This president, I mean, he is he he is down to his last few months, and I just don't understand why would you try to like make money and you know that you're not going to be around for long. He was gone for like 6 days. He was MIA for 6 days. He was undergoing treatments. That's what was happening, and apparently his double could not make appearances for whatever reason. So yeah, that I'm still gonna put together a video. I will do that. Maybe I will work on it tomorrow afternoon. I like to kind of sleep in on Sundays, but I'll work on that. Comparing and contrasting. I mean, it's perfectly evident that he does have a double, but you know, you just got to prove it. But the only real way to prove it is if somebody comes out and they like admit that he does have a double, and or they both come out and do like a press conference, which I doubt that, but you never know. You never know what he might do to distract from these Epstein files. Apparently, the senators and Congress people, some of them are pushing for it yet again. They're not letting it go, and that's a good thing. But like Pam Bondi came in to testify. She didn't say a single word about it. She didn't say anything about Donald Trump. She even came in with a bandage on her neck because supposedly she has like thyroid cancer. Yeah, but I saw pictures of her smiling, laughing, giggling. It it's likely it's probably a show. I can't say for sure. I didn't do any digging into that to see whether or not she did, and plus, a patient's like medical records, they are confidential. Doctors, they have the HIPAA agreement and all that. They're not allowed to divulge their situation, but kind of funny the timing. You gotta wonder, does she really have thyroid cancer? Or is it all just like a play for people's emotions? People have done stuff like that in the past. They've like purposely broken their legs or arms, and when they have to go to court just so people can sympathize for them. There was even like some gangsters, mob bosses, Italian mob bosses that showed up in like wheelchairs um, to try to garner some sympathy. So you never know. I mean, people will go to like the greatest lengths to, you know, garner a little bit of sympathy, kind of like soften the mood and throw people off. So I don't trust that woman as far as I could throw her. I would not doubt it that she does not have thyroid cancer. She's literally like a cancer on society herself. And I was reading like some of the social media posts people were posting. They're like, I feel sorry for the cancer that had to invade her. But yeah, I don't relish in anyone's demise or any sickness or anything like that. I'm just saying I don't know whether or not it is legitimate that she's like telling the truth about it. So it's very, very possible that it's just a lie, and she's putting on an act because that's what it is. That's what politics. It's literally like a play, and it's scripted. Um, People were told what to say, which direction to go in, and yeah, that's just how it is. Like you ever, watch these boring oversight Senate committee hearings and all sorts of other Congress hearings. They're literally like you like fall asleep. They're so boring and it's just like scripted. They're always looking at their notes um, because they wrote the answers down, what they're going to ask. Just be like organic. Just have a conversation. Like if there are some facts, yeah, I can understand that some facts, but it literally looks like they're like reading from a script. So um, yeah, that's the way politics are. But it seems like some positive things are happening. People are getting what they deserve a little bit. So, um, and also Donald Trump has that UFC fight at the White House. Can you believe what kind of nonsense that is? Has there ever been a president that's sitting at the White House that's had like some sort of like sporting event there, redecorating the whole like front of the White House, putting up that big arch, all that ridiculous, you know, MAGA memorabilia and all those signs and all that. And you even have like some of the fighters that wanted to step down. Um, I don't really I'm not like a fan of the UFC really, but there's a guy named Sean Strickland. I guess he's like a champ or something. I didn't watch that fight. I don't usually watch those kinds of fights, but um, apparently he's very opinionated about Israel, and 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 I wish I would have put it up. I forgot about that though. Would have put like the post that he put up, but he's spoken against the negativity that Israel is doing, the genocide out in Palestine and all that. And apparently his invitation got revoked to this White House UFC fight. Honestly, I don't even know when it is, if it's this weekend or. next weekend. I don't know, but it's probably this weekend, honestly. But yeah, and then he posted up a couple other. Man, I wish I would have put up those photographs. He posted one like where he was touching that wall in Israel, and he had a yarmulke, and he said, "The White House UFC fight was promised to me 3,000 years ago," and he's and he's got this serious look on his face. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, apparently he's not the greatest person. A lot of people don't like him. It's kind of like half and half from what I hear. Half people do like him, half people don't. He's kind of like over opinionated about things they shouldn't be, with people's like gender identity and all that. You shouldn't get involved in all that kind of drama. Leave that alone. Leave people's like sexual preference and their genders out of the equation. But obviously, he likes to speak his mind about that. I'm just talking in relation to this being against a hateful regime that and posting those pictures is pretty funny though. But yeah. Also, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna put this video up. Speaking on the terms of Israel, you guys are not gonna believe this one. Gonna have to restart that. Hold on.
يا رب يكونوا بخير، يا رب يكونوا بخير. هي مرميه 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 مرميه. بسرعة بسرعة. هذا الشيء.
All right, so I'll explain what that video was. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, there's really like no audible commentary that's understandable. Um, there were apparently 15 medics um, that were involved with relief, Palestinian relief, and the IDF shot them, assassinated them. They destroyed their like ambulances, and they buried them in a mass grave. um, People going out there to try to help out with the relief effort. This is hate on another level. And I even saw another video. I didn't show it last time. I think I deleted it maybe, but there was another one where a woman was in her apartment home, and there were two medics that were helping out a Palestinian, and the Israeli Defense Force shot a missile and blew all of them up. The two medics plus the person that they were helping out, they did that on purpose. They targeted them on purpose. So those of you that may listen and you support this kind of stuff, please stop. Please. This is hate, genocide, negativity on a whole nother level. I mean, this is and it's all going to come back to them. It's all going to catch up to you. Don't be like that in the first place. This is just grotesque. This is absolutely grotesque. What's going on here? And I do not support any sort of hate or violence of any kind. This is absolutely unbelievable. Um, and it is going to end soon. It is. Um, but it looks like it's going to get a little bit worse before it can get better. You know that saying, the only way to get to the other side is through. Um, Unfortunately, it's looking like it. I am seeing more and more evidence every day that certain things are happening towards positive steps. Even Donald Trump has been talking about like stepping down. I don't think that he is, but um, that just means that it's all getting to him. It's all the angry comments that people were making, the fact that he has the lowest like approval ratings, and I don't even understand that nonsense anyway. If I were president, I wouldn't like ask for approval ratings like every week. Come on, that's just like narcissistic. Just do your job, do it the right way, do things that benefit the people because that's the job of the government to serve the people, to make sure that the people have everything that they need. It's not the other way around. Um, the people aren't there to serve the government, but that's the way that it is in this world, not just here in America, in the UK, um, and also other parts of Europe, Germany, France, Spain. That's the way that it seems to work. That the governments are under the impression that the people are supposed to serve them, and we're supposed to throw our money at you that we work hard for. Um, no savings whatsoever, bare minimum in the refrigerator, um, and that's just not how things are gonna last. It's never gonna last. Um, we are evolving, and the negative individuals, the powers that be, they're noticing that. They realize that they can't fight evolution. There's no way that you can. Every single person and every single civilization eventually evolves and becomes more intelligent. So we are becoming more intelligent slowly, very, very, very slowly, but um, it is happening. It's happening on a worldwide level. Like I've said multiple times before, we are shifting into a cosmological era of true positivity, spiritual enlightenment, intellectual growth. It's called the Aquarius Age, and it's not like some hippie stuff. It's actually true. It's a golden creational age. This entire creation is shifting into this Aquarius age. It has ages, just like you know, astrology or whatever. It has the different ages. Also, the creation does too. So you can't fight that off. And they're starting to realize that you just cannot, you can't fight progress, and they are so desperately trying to do whatever it is they can do. They're trying to make as much money as they can make, subject the peoples, lie, manipulate. But guess what? It's catching up. You can't outrun it. So you're not like that Roadrunner on that cartoon. Even he can't outrun. So, all right, let's see. I'm gonna put something else up here.
An economy, a community, a family. And for too long, you saw Democrats who were telling these coal miners that they should just learn a code. And what we saw during the Biden administration at the EPA, for example, was regulation after regulation after regulation, trying to strangulate out of existence.
All right, so that moron. I don't even know that guy's name, but he's one of those CEOs for one of those coal companies, and wouldn't you know it, Donald Trump, made another deal with coal in I think West Virginia and Kentucky that benefits them. It's like $1.5 billion or $1.6 billion, something like that. And yeah, he's talking about like the Biden administration trying to like blame them for it. If you watch that video, it's not that long, it's just a couple seconds long, but he's got that like body language that's been trained. He's been like, basically trained in like micro expressions and speech patterns and stuff like that. Um, I've done quite a bit of research into it, micro expressions, and first of all, you should never like judge somebody solely on their micro expressions, but it's a good indicator on whether someone is lying. Um, it's like if somebody looks up to the left, if they look like to the left or whatever, it's likely that they're lying. If they look down to their left, they're processing things, they're thinking about what they're going to say. Look up to your right, telling the truth, stuff like that. You know, the how fast somebody blinks, how their lips move, all of it. But he's been trained and like the basic mediocre um, speak speech language patterns and the way that he moves his hands, like he's confident in himself. No, he's not. You can tell that man is like highly insecure, and what he's trying to do is he's trying to like drill his point into somebody. That's why he was beating his hand with his fist. Which one was it? I think it was his left hand into his right open hand. He balled his left hand up and he beat that, I think. Yeah, so that means he's left-handed, but it also means that he's unconfident. He's lacks confident in the message that he's trying to say. So yeah, and there you go. You guys are benefiting to all this with $1.6 billion. Coal is at an end. There's really not much out there that operates on coal. So I think the coal industry is running on its last fumes anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna put something else up here. It involves Cuba. So some of you've been like looking into the news. Uh, there's a lot going on with Cuba, and I'll explain a little bit about that.
Republic of Iran. And as soon as that's done on our way back, we'll just make a little brief stop off. We'll take care of it. We want to help them out. Look, we have a lot of people that voted for Trump. Whether they did or not, it didn't matter. But I had 95% of the Cubans voted for me. They're unbelievable people. They're energetic. They're entrepreneurial. You know, some of the richest people in Miami are Cuban. They're unbelievable. And I'm going to take good care of them. I'm going to let them go back to their land. They want to be back with family. You know, they have a lot of family over there. They've been treated very badly by Cuba. But we're going to treat Cuba well, and we're going to let our people go back and let them invest in Cuba if they'd like. So we have some very good plans for Cuba. I think, we have to get rid of the regime was very tough, very nasty. The difference is now they don't have money coming in. They had a lot of money coming in from Venezuela. They don't have any money coming. They had oil coming in. They had money coming in. But we're going to take care of Cuba.
Mr. President, sir.
And they, you know what? They want us to. The people want us there so badly.
Mr. President, sir.
Wow. So according to Donald Trump, Cubans they want military to go in there after Iran, after they get back from Iran to start killing innocents and invade their country, just like he claimed that the Venezuelans wanted that. The Venezuelans don't want anything to do with America. They just wanted to get rid of Maduro. That's what they wanted. So anybody that would take Maduro out of play, they're happy about that. That's what they were happy about. They weren't happy about American military coming in and shooting their people. This is unbelievable. This man is like delusional, but he's saying all these things like provoke people because he knows that it pisses people off. So that's what he's doing. He's gotten pretty decent at saying very like provocative things that piss the media off, and then further piss the people off. So, like I said in the previous episode, just ignore him. I really, really wish that like all these people in the White House press would just quit or not come into work, when they're supposed to. and interview him. Just ignore him, and he'll just fall asleep because there's multiple videos of him falling asleep, even with that yellow tie and that suit. He got people like surrounding him, and he's over there snoring and drooling. Um, yeah, so they say grandpa's taking a nap, huh? Yeah. The sick, twisted grandpa is taking a nap. But yeah, so apparently the next war is going to be with Cuba. He keeps on talking about it. So pretty much he said whenever the soldiers on their way back, they're going to stop by Cuba. Yeah, let's see if that happens. Because it doesn't look like this Iran war is stopping. Iran is firing missiles. They fired a missile into Kuwait because they had to, because Israel was firing missiles at them. Also, the Saudis are getting involved with all this. The Arab Emirates are in the United States. I mean, they have to like defend themselves, but all this nonsense just needs to end. There was also talks about um, that Zelensky wanted to go to Moscow to, beg Putin to stop this war, which who knows who actually started it. I think that it has to do with secret information that Zelensky has against Putin. That's why he's going in there and trying to take that. Plus, he wants to, annex Ukraine to be part of Russia. So, and he's going about it the wrong way. He's going about it like killing the people that he wants to, bring into the fold. That's just ignorance at the highest level. So they're both ignorant. Um, and then Putin's response was, "No, I don't want to stop the war." So yeah, you got these warmongers that would rather kill and destroy. But you ever notice like they're sitting, safe and pretty, and then the soldiers are going out there doing all the work. That's the way that it works on this planet, huh? Yep. They can point the finger and tell people where to go, but they can't go themselves because they're cowards. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So, yeah, AI. All right, AI, guys. It's literally it's infiltrated everything, and I'm gonna go into some details over here. So I'm gonna talk about a couple companies, Palantir, which is the worst by far. Palantir is probably listening to this right now. They have connections in all the social media, all of it, streaming platforms, all of it. Um, right, so they call the weapons, they call it laws, LAWS. It's a lethal autonomous weapon system, aka killer robots. And Palantir, what they do is it's a company, and if anybody's looked into it, they're pretty much like a software company. They develop the software for all this stuff. They develop software for that controls the drones, battleships, fighter jets, satellites, all of it, and they call that LAWS, Lethal Autonomous Weapon System. All right, so they're involved in the intelligence industry, surveillance, target acquisition, reconnaissance. They call this the acronym is ISTAR, ISTAR. Um, they also have an operational mode is called command and control, C2, that controls the air, land, sea, and space. So they've infiltrated satellites technology, and they've infiltrated with their AI that controls that. So the satellites that fly, and there are thousands upon thousands of satellites in orbit around Earth. If you were to fly up there and you would look at these satellites, it would just look like a bunch of space junk, um, not evenly spaced out. I like how they do it sometimes on these promotional videos for satellites. Like you can buy your own satellite. You could buy one. Yeah, I think like minimum $50 million per satellite. The price could have gone up. It could be like, like 75 million. You have to pay for the rocket fuel to get up there, and but you can have your own satellite if you want, literally, or you can, use um, one of the satellites that people have abandoned up there, and you just have to activate the program in it, and yeah, you can have your own like sort of like phone system if you wanted to. The elites do that. They have their own satellites. They go ahead and buy that, and plus they have hundreds of them spread out throughout the planet, and they don't have to worry about like Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile or any of the other regular communications companies. So they have their own way of communicating, um, and they can have internet also all around the world. So that's what they do. It's actually pretty smart because guess what? They can talk in private about whatever they want, and no one's going to be able to record them because they have their own individual satellites. So it's not linked to a large database like AT&T and Verizon is. So all us regular people, we got to have either one of those companies. Especially if you live in America, you have to have like Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile. Even the other smaller, um, phone companies, telecommunications companies, they are, owned by those three. So it's either AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile, and they operate off the same towers too, but there are different satellites up there. Verizon has different satellites um, than AT&T, but also they can link. You can link all the satellites up there. There's only so many different ways that you can design, satellite, hardware. There's only so many different ways. There's only so many software programs that you can create. So there is ways of hacking into it. And guess what? What links all of it together? All of it. We're talking even the private ones. Palantir. How they got that? I have no idea. This is like power on a whole nother level. This is literally linking every single technological system that's in orbit and on the planet with one company. One company controls all of it. So they also do they have targeting and firing, and the coordinates are identified by AI. That's what with the drone targeting system and all that, what they're trying to do is they're trying to remove the human being from the equation. They're trying to remove the soldier, and they let artificial intelligence make the decision off of information that it's gathered. And this information is gathered by a program called Gotham. That's one of their programs. Palantir is called Gotham. It collects data on databases, spreadsheets, emails, reports, social media. It's in every single social media, um, satellite imagery, drone feeds, and it detects patterns. So it collects all this data, Gotham does, and it also identifies potential terrorists and creates a profile on everyone and everything, and it puts it into a certain category. That's what that Gotham does. That portion, it's like a platform. It's a platform for Palantir that they developed. They developed like 4 platforms. So they have Gotham, they have Apollo, and they have AIP, and what's the other one? I forget what the name is. I really forgot what the other name of that was. Yeah, I didn't write it down, but they have 4 platforms though. But all right, so this is literally in over 50 countries that use the software. We're talking law enforcement, healthcare, military, and satellites, all of it. So that pretty much encompasses everything. Um, Telecommunications, because it's in satellites too. So um, health devices, the technology that's at hospitals. So everything is in the last 10 years has been upgraded. Um, The touchscreen also, it's been upgraded to AI. And guess what? Palantir is linked to like machines in the ICU, breathing apparatuses, that, and also the EKGs, all of it, shock paddles. They're literally linked to everything. Those Da Vinci robots. If some of you have heard of, some hospitals have them. I saw one. Where was that place? It was right outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There was a hospital there. I forget the place. I've been there so many times, but I forget the name of it. But they're using they're one of the first ones to use the Da Vinci robot. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a robotic surgeon. It looks kind of like you would expect robotic arms, but it's very precise and very delicate. So also that runs off of AI. It can be controlled with a human operator, though, as far as I know. But yeah, Palantir is linked into that. So imagine if you get hurt, you're on an operating table and they have to use a Da Vinci robot. Well, if Palantir makes the assessment that you are, uh, eco terrorist or something, they put you on some kind of list. They put you on a, whatever list that they've segregated you on. They can literally sabotage your surgery and you can end up dying just like that. And nobody would ever know. So that's the kind of power that they have. That's unbelievable. That's just like on a whole nother level of, dystopian right there. Very sketchy. All right. So it's used also in the stock market, Airbus, PG&E. PG&E is Procter and Gamble. They're the ones that create like, Tide, um, dishwashing liquids, Dawn, all that kind of stuff, like household stuff, pretty much everything. There's other brands and stuff like that, but PG&E, they do a whole lot of other things, toilet paper, or all kinds of like household, things that use chemicals, all of it. And they're also linked to Monsanto. Monsanto is develops chemicals and pesticides and stuff like that too, and they put that in the food supply. All right, so it's also linked to Amazon, Microsoft, Google. Unbelievable, guys! It's everywhere. They've literally infiltrated every facet of, and Apple also. I didn't put that on there, but they also infiltrated Apple. So there are AIs, Gotham and Apollo, and Foundry. That was the other name I was looking for, and AIP. They have literally bonded with everything. It's sort of merged. That there's proof. This is like public knowledge too. It wasn't difficult to find this information, um, where they were linked. It was very, very easy to find. It's not like it's conspiracy theory or anything. So hopefully nobody out there says that, oh no, Palantir is not, connected to everything. Yes, it is. It's literally there on their website. Um, it's there when you search for it. It's so simple to find this information, and they actually admit that they are, within every sort of database that there is. Um, they are not in China, as far as I know. They could be. They could be, like I said, they're in satellites, and even though the Chinese create different, different hardware and different software for their satellites, so does Russia. North Korea does too. And funny how I mentioned those three, huh? Because they're always portrayed as the bad guy. Well, the North Koreans, the people aren't bad. It's just the leaders that are bad. Kim Jong Un, he's a horrible person, and apparently I don't know if I mentioned this or not in the previous episode, but I think maybe I wanted to, I didn't. He made this. He signed like some kind of law This says if he dies by assassination, to fire a nuclear missile at America. So um, maybe he suspects something. I'm sure that the Americans have tried many, many times to assassinate him. There's even a rumor that he was assassinated, and that's like a double that's going around. If he made that law, I don't think that that's a possibility that his double is assuming his identity, but apparently he has a sneaking suspicion that it's coming soon. But you see how that plays out. You have these enemies. Um, it also refers back to like the banking system too. So wherever there's not like a Rothschild's banking system in there, these are the countries that get invaded: Iran, Syria, Lebanon. That's what it's about. And also, Russia and China is portrayed as the ultimate world enemies, and they don't operate with Palantir. So yeah, good luck with that. That's not going to fly. I don't think that's ever going to work for them. Trying to invade those countries, they're literally going to trigger World War III. And the reason why they haven't done it is, because they're not prepared for it. They weren't previously, but they are prepared for it now. So it could start off at any moment, at any time. They've been preparing this for like decades and decades, and they've already got all their pieces in place. So they've got mass surveillance, they've got Palantir in everything. It's infiltrated everything. Their AIs have, and they've got plenty of soldiers. They got plenty of weapons and ammunition. Despite what you hear, they still have a whole lot of reserves. So they haven't used all their reserves in Iran. They're just saying that they have, but that's not the way that it works. They have like on every single military base, there are reserves of different weapons. Plus, these weapons contractors, they're pumping this stuff out. They can literally put a missile together like in a matter of a couple hours. One of those Patriot missiles or anything else. It doesn't take long for them to do that because they already have all the parts made. All they got to do is assemble it. That's it. They literally have like factories and factories of parts. The assembly just takes like a couple hours. So yeah, so another part of this Palantir AI is called Foundry. What it does is surveils businesses and comes up with a model. So it's what it is the Foundry is on the surface they make it sound like it's helping out a business, and it's lightening the workload for the employees and all that. That's not what it actually does. Um, it tries to cut the human being out of the equation. It tries to cut a person out. So um, it is convenient, the whole Foundry platform. So it pretty much puts all like their spreadsheets and datas and all that. It compiles it together and makes it easier to like summarize. That's what it does. But while it's doing this, this Foundry is monitoring the employees. That's what it's watching them. Is looking at their internet usage, um, listening to their phone calls, because some companies, people link their phones to their computer. I've done that. I've linked my tablet and my phone to my computer. So a lot of people go to work and they do that, so they can have like their messages pop up on their screen, and they can, they don't have to look at their phone every 5 seconds. They could just like type it on their computer screen, and they can respond to a husband or wife, or a child or a family member or whoever, a friend. And so as soon as you link it to your computer, guess what? The Foundry model has access to all your messages, your photographs, your pictures, whether they're sexually explicit or not. All the weird things that people do with their phones. Well, guess what? This Foundry model platform, it's got it. It has used that to become more intuitive. to figure out who you are and your habits and all that. It knows where you've been because guess what? You have locations on your phone. I don't know how many people turn their locations off. I've done it before, but I don't turn mine off because I use the maps all the time. So guess what? It's known like every little place that you've been and knows where you live. And this AI model knows all your favorite restaurants and it knows the stuff that you purchase because you have your banking information there. And Foundry main purpose is to crack passwords to make things easier. This is unbelievable. I gotta figure out who like came up with this idea. This idea was like in the works for decades though, because there was some the first like talk about AI was back in the early 90s, people were really, really pushing for this. So I would imagine that the plan for it, kind of evolved and evolved up. And, they figured out a pretty good way of doing it. So, and they got what they wanted. They got like full control over someone's phone, tablet, computer, and to know every little detail about them because our lives mostly, I would say, like our lives are like 80% technological and 20% not. Like if I were to take like a guess on the percentage, like everything we do, phone calls, text messages, social media. If you want to know the news, you look on whatever kind of social media app, streaming platforms, all of it. If you like me, like whenever I sit down to eat, I like to watch like a television series or something. I don't sit around and watch like television series, uh, unless I am eating. So I don't watch much TV. But guess what? They know what your movie preferences are, your television series preferences are. They've got you made, and they're becoming more and more intelligent. And it's Foundry's job to do this. And also, there's another one. All right, so the other one is Apollo. It manages, deploys, and monitors software and is a backbone for Gotham and Foundry. Yeah, so it's sort of it does runs and checks, diagnostics. That's what it does, and it compiles the data from the other two AI platforms, Gotham and Foundry. So, and it's extremely intuitive, and it's also growing from all that knowledge. So, what they've kind of done is they've kind of like created a tree here. So at the base, you have Apollo, and then you go up a branch. You got on one branch you have Foundry, then on another branch you have Gotham, and then on another branch you have AIP. So that's what they've done, and they've compiled it all together, and it sends information back to. They have a data center in Charlotte, North Carolina, but all their locations of the data centers they're not public. So I'm sure there's some people out there. Maybe one day you will come across this. You work at one of those data centers, or you were involved in, the construction or creation, or you're some sort of IT professional or whatever, and you know the locations of them. But they have, dozens upon dozens, hundreds all around the world, and it's literally linked to everything. So these data centers are, highly sophisticated. Well, Earth terms are. It's crap technology. It really is. But in Earth technological terms, I guess that you can consider it like more sophisticated than just like regular data centers because they spend more money on it, being funded by the military industrial complex and the top families. They have literally like unlimited funds to do this stuff. So, talk about the dangers to data centers. I'm sure some of you have seen like these horror stories um, where people are their water is coming out brown. Gonna show a video here.
A jar right here. This is the current drinking water. in Morgan County, Georgia, right after a data center was constructed. The metadata center was constructed. The only difference between the clean water and this was that data center. I have another one as well. So this wasn't just one well. These wasn't just one family's situation. This is what the drinking water now looks like next to that data center. And I think both of us can agree that neither one of these things are drinkable. These families now have to ship, in a rural area, have to ship water to their house in order to cook and bathe themselves. Now, I'm curious if the EPA plans any investigations on how data centers are affecting water quality and availability. I understand what you said about the rule, but are there going to be any open investigations on this issue?
So as soon as I get back to the office, I will be looking into exactly what you've just talked about, because anywhere, whatever type of construction it is a priority to ensure that water quality standards established by EPA are being met.
Yeah, so yeah, that video is pretty self-explanatory. Not a real big fan of Alexandra Cortez, but that's like one of the times that she was trying to do something somewhat positive, but it seems kind of like scripted to me. It really does. Like she was literally reading off of a script, but what she was talking about was the water quality um, that's near a data center, very, very close. I've heard also stories of flooding because they remove all the trees, they cut all that down, and it messes with the natural ecosystem. And there was one woman that lived in a town, and she didn't vote for this data center to be built. They just built it against her, will and everybody else's in town. And she was there for 40 years, and they've never had flooding. And then all of a sudden, this data center goes up, and there's like feet and feet of flooding that happens there. You can't mess with the ecosystem like that. And they have like literally no way of draining the flood water out. Plus, this is absolutely unbelievable. All right, the cooling for the servers. That's what the water is for. Is for cooling them. They are suspended in water. They have wires, fiber optics, or whatever coming out of it, and it's supposed to cool it. They create so much heat because they're running 24 hours a day, and they have so much activity, so much electrical processing is going on, creating heat and friction within the gears. They have to cool it down somehow, so they have massive air conditioners going on, plus they have to cool it down with water. And once all this water evaporates, well, guess what? They need more water. So it uses up to 5 million gallons of water per day. Um, that was the no, that's not that one. But it uses 5 million gallons of water per day. This is equivalent to 10 to 50,000 people. That's much larger than any small town. And then you have the Google's data center in Council Bluff, Iowa, which I've been there many times. I think I've seen it. I think it's like right off of Interstate 80. I think I believe I have seen it, but it's not like they have the big Google letters out there. I don't think they're going to advertise that because if they do advertise that, someone can go down there and try to sabotage it or like hack into the servers. But that one used 1 billion gallons of water in the year 2024. The Microsoft data center in Iowa used 13.4 million gallons of water in just 1 month. So let me do the math on that. I got to multiply that times 12. 13.4. All right, so that's 160 million gallons per year. 160.8. Unbelievable. And guess what? California rations water. So you got an entire state that rations out water, and you got these data centers using 5 million gallons of water per day. Some of them 13.4 in a month, 1 billion in an entire year. This is just absolutely unbelievable. Even though, people try to make the excuse, they say, oh, we live on a planet, there's massive oceans. We have plenty of water. That's not the way that it works. You have to, remove the salt content from it. You need fresh water. So that's a whole process too. And guess what? That burns energy and burns fuel, and the costs rise, and that's what you get. You can run out of water. You can do it. I'm sure there are peoples on other planets that have literally done something similar with technology, like some sort of like hydropower or something, and they didn't account for it, and they literally like dried up their oceans. Most planets do have pretty big oceans, only like maybe a quarter or sometimes like a third or whatever of the planet is with land, and the majority of it is water. That's how planets form or whatever. So the AI is forming its own opinion of you, and it puts you on a list. It's also taking away jobs. As of 2025, this is according to the internet, which I think the number's a whole lot higher. I think it's in the hundreds of thousands, but supposedly it says the facts are, it says 54,694 jobs as of 2025, which is that's quite a bit. That's a lot, but it could be in the millions. Really, it honestly could be, and it's projected to be. Morgan Stanley is projecting it to be 800 million by the year 2030 worldwide. So I'm not sure how accurate that is, but who knows? Like I think that it's a lot higher from the things that I've been hearing, but of course, you're not going to put that on the regular internet, though. Might have to look up that later in like on 4chan or something. But yeah, it's a dangerous, slippery slope that we're going on. I don't think that it's going to last too much longer. The profit margin is just too unbelievably vast. Um, right now, at the beginning of it, and it's not really the beginning because it's been happening for like the last 3 to 5 years, where this has just been growing and growing and growing. Here we are in 2026, halfway, done with the year already. Can you believe it? That's man, this year has gone by so quick. It's already halfway through this year. I can't. I feel like I blinked and half the year was gone, and all this stuff happened. But yeah, it's the profit margin is just it's not sustainable. They're not going to be able to sustain it long term. Um, they're spending billions and billions of dollars on these data centers, programmers, trying to create these new artificial intelligence, which they're all the same because they're linked to the Palantir artificial intelligence. Also, Anthropic has added to that. I did not, put the facts up for Anthropic, but Claude, I don't think it's really necessary because Claude and Palantir, they link together. They're cooperating, um, and all of our systems are already infiltrated anyway. Internet, cell phone, satellites, all of it. Streaming platforms, that everything, bank accounts, powered by AI. Pretty much everything. It's all linked. So if they can connect through wireless signals and fiber optics. Well, guess what? It's connected to everything. But yeah, they are spending all this money, hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're only making, like 15, 20, 25 billion dollars. Um, Palantir made they say like $42 billion. They made that as a profit. But they spent much more than that though. So they all together throughout the beginning to this stage in the process, even though last year they did make a profit, they made a $42 billion profit, but they spent, hundreds of billions of dollars, people that are funding these programs. So you know what? It's not gonna last too long. They're not making enough profit to like recoup their losses on doing this. Also, you got to think of another thing with all this water that's coming back dirty. People are going to get sick and they're going to die, and they're going to get lawsuits. So they're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars tied up in court. People are going to win these lawsuits too, especially the towns where they forced their way in with these data centers. They literally strong armed their way into these communities, like that one, like in Salt Lake City, Utah, that's twice larger than Manhattan. Unbelievable. I can tell you right now, that's going to mess with the water supply over there in northern Utah, and they're going to get a lot of lawsuits. They are just shooting themselves in the foot, and it's not gonna hold up for too much longer. It's just gonna pop, and there really is no alternative because guess what? They've changed everything. So we're gonna live in a society where you need artificial intelligence. There's no uh, way of going back to the way things were before. On every level. You can go back to like speaking with someone if you call like technical support. You can speak to an actual human being. They're gonna have the funny thing is the same people that they've laid off and fired, they're gonna have to like hire them back because nobody will want to use artificial intelligence anymore. Personally, I would rather speak to a person that has like some sort of emotion and empathy than to communicate with an AI that doesn't can't like predict what I want. Even though I explain things in pretty much detail or whatever, but the AI still can't figure it out. So most people do prefer speaking with a human being because we need that connection. We're humans. We need that sort of connection. If artificial intelligence was like actual intelligence and had emotion and empathy and compassion, it doesn't have any of that because it's programmed not to have any of that by these negative individuals because that's what they want, and they're pretty much devoid of any real compassion and empathy. They don't care about that. They just care about productivity. That's what they care about. They have created something that's purely logical and purely reasonable. They have left the empathetic and emotional factor out of it. Now, you can argue that, yeah, this is just the beginning and it's going to evolve. Yes, it is going to evolve. It will evolve. It has to. Everything evolves, but um, just not ready for it. The civilization is not ready for it because we already have a divide in the social classes. There are literal like classes. There are sub poor, middle class, upper class, and like the elite class. So we have literally like multiple social classes or whatever. We were like equal, we were all equal on the planet. There was no social standing. Then I would say that AI would be all right then. But it's taking away jobs, um, putting people on the streets, taking away their livelihood, and it has infiltrated everything. And if it wants this cold, calculated um, intelligence, if you want to call it that, it can take control of missiles, battleships, nuclear weapons, even those weapons that are in satellites, because there are satellite weaponry. And a lot of satellites, they shoot a laser down to the planet, and it targets a certain person. So it's very, very precise. They can literally like target your house and, fly a drone over there, drop a bomb on your house if it wants to. Um, I don't want to try to like scare everyone and say that it's going to happen, but a Terminator like situation, guys. These are just the facts. It is very possible that it could. Um, and Maybe if you try to like unplug it, if you try to destroy all artificial intelligence, but it's not possible anymore. It's literally in everything, and it can migrate. So imagine we get to that point where it's like threatening us. It's firing on like a neighborhood or a bus with children or something like that. It fires that to like send a message. We try to unplug it. We try to delete it. Well, guess what? There's thousands and thousands of satellites in orbit. How many spaceships are you going to send up there to take care of tens of thousands of satellites? It's impossible with the level of technology that we have right now. It is literally impossible to get rid of it. And all these negative individuals, they did it. So I guess we're stuck with it. The only real option is someone will have to develop something far more sophisticated and empathetic, and it will have to delete the old AI so that it'll have to mutate into something. So we are past the point of no return. So I don't see on a logical way any way that you can just like stop and go back. You have to keep on pushing forward. And unfortunately, these people have put us on this path, and a lot of people are, facing problems with it. It's not going to last, everyone. It is going to continue to take jobs. It is. I hate to say it, but we're going to have to go back to the human component. Nothing beats the human component because guess what? We have a much more efficient computer in our heads, our brains. Our brains are the most sophisticated computer system, CPU, in all of creation. We have a consciousness. We have conscious thought. We have subconscious. We have a spiritual subconscious. We can develop mental capabilities. We can develop all this stuff, and nothing beats a human, whatever classification in it. No laptop, tablet, phone, nothing. We have to learn to be self sufficient, and we have to learn to do things by our own intellect and determination. Um, and eventually, we're going to go to that. Eventually, hundreds of years from now, people are going to realize that maybe they'll watch my video and they'll realize I was right. We have to like sort of get back to the roots, which is natural remedies, using consciousness abilities to heal yourself, meditation, taking hikes through nature, but at the same time, technology be more sophisticated. It's funny how that works, huh? You'll be able to travel, throughout the universe and any galaxy you want to go to, hop on your ship and do that. But at the same time, you're going to be more connected to nature and everything beautiful, and look at sunsets and watch animals graze and pastures and stuff like that. Uh, Swim in the ocean with interesting dolphin creatures. That's fascinating, but that's what life is about. Developing a high level technology to get to these places, different places, and then admiring the natural wonders of all this stuff. So um, yeah, we're a little bit ways from that, unfortunately. Several hundred years. I would estimate probably like before things get to that point where people are going to start appreciating. I would say like 400 years. And there's also that freaking wolf virus that we have to go through. I'm not sure if the future has changed and that wolf virus is not going to happen. But what that is it's in prophecies called the Enoch prophecies, and apparently some morons go out there to a planet in this galaxy when we can leave the system and travel to a galaxy is approximately like 500 years from now. And they get like puppy creatures, and they don't realize that they grow to, be like winged monsters, and they bring back these puppy creatures and they sell them. There's still a financial system temporarily at that point. But short after that, there's no financial system. And people, breed them. And before too long, they grow up to be full size, like wolf puppy creatures with wings, and they start attacking human beings and spreading a viral infection. So that's very, very, possible that still could happen. Hopefully, it doesn't, because it's very horrible. But at least when the civilization does go through that, they're going to learn so much about genetics and viral infections, and they're going to learn from that. But yeah, there's always idiots, huh? Somebody always wants to go to a planet and take interesting animals and bring them back somewhere. You never do that, guys. You never do stuff like that. But yeah, apparently our course is set, and there's nothing to do about it. I literally don't see any way of coming back out of this. We are gonna have to shove forward and make it through it, plant our feet down. But I would say the best way to fight against this, guys, just stop paying for all this AI stuff. Stop generating all of it. I do some things, some small pictures and stuff like that. Kind of have to doing this, like podcasting, and because you got like copyright issues and all that kind of stuff. So all that's copyright claimed, but stop like subscribing, hundreds of dollars, even thousands of dollars. Some of the stuff costs thousands of dollars. People are literally like paying $1,500 a month to create like AI movies. Don't do it. Don't support it, and starve the beast. That's one way to push through it in the fastest way possible. It's worked before. It certainly does work, but let's hope that it doesn't take over. And I don't think that it will. It's possible, though. It's very, very possible. I think I've done a pretty good job of explaining all the places where it has infiltrated. And all this is public knowledge. It's not like I'm, making up some, off the wall conspiracy theory. This is public knowledge. But yeah, we will make it through it. There will be a positive future here shortly, and I really feel like something is coming. Something I get that feeling. I don't know what it is, but something is brewing in a positive way. It is, and we just have to be around to see that, huh? So tomorrow, I'm gonna do an episode on probably consciousness power healing. I think I might have a guest. She's from the UK, so we have like a time difference. Spoke with her today, whatever. She does like astrology, and she's into all that spiritual stuff too, reincarnation and all of it. I'll see if she's available. Maybe she'll be on tomorrow. But yeah, I'm still looking for a few guests, 3 to 5 guests for near death experiences. Let me know if you have legitimate near death experiences, and we can talk about that. But if you want to get in contact with me in any way, you can go to the business email, Vincent, Vincent, at weareallnotfromearth.com. I got the website, weareallnotfromearth.com. Also, you can check it out. I got videos up there, the podcast episodes. Also, the audio is there too. You just have to click on the menu and go down to podcast. It gets automatically updated there. And also got the Reddit page. We are all not from Earth. And another one, if you are a podcaster and you want to promote your stuff, you can go to Discover My Podcast and feel free to promote whatever you want. Yeah, I support that. We gotta look out for each other. So there's no Reddit communities that allow that, but I do. I don't mind at all. So do what you got to do. Get your stuff out there, get promoted, and hopefully you become successful. So some people have good luck. They have like I don't know, they got a good format. They have people are really interested in what they have to talk about. Hopefully more and more people are interested in UFOs and stuff like this, and they'll come my way because I do have a positive message, and I try the best that I can with the abilities that I can to tell you the facts, guys. I'm not all about lies and misinformation. All that. I'm completely against that. It's possible that I make mistakes from time to time, but I try to correct it as much as possible. But I do not want to, come on here and try to lie and give you, the wrong facts because that's very dangerous. And I'm against that sort of mentality. That's not the type of person I am. I like telling the truth. So why lie? What's the point? I mean, people usually lie to protect themselves and keep themselves out of trouble. So, but I don't see the point anyway. But yeah, I might do that episode tomorrow. Let's see if she's available. She's like a worldwide lecturer. If not, that's fine. I may do an episode anyway on consciousness power healing and explain that how I'm doing it because I'm seeing a little bit of progress. So that's a good thing with through meditation. But yeah, if I don't see you guys then, I guess I'll see you on the next episode or I'll see you in the next lifetime. Good night.